What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Steam Deck. I'm sorry, not the Steam Deck. The Steam Machine that they just announced yesterday. We'll go watch their video and give you my thoughts and opinions on that and what's happening, what we think is going to happen in the industry. We're going to talk about Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders revealed their new game mode and cosmetic prices. They're also going to talk about the responding to problems in live service game is like having a big clock saying Battlefield 6 director, you measure and value your time to the player so they know that you're paying attention. It's a hell of a title, by the way. We're also going to talk about COD Black Ops 7 World Collide and Endgame Explained, because they're doing something in that game that might intrigue some of you. We actually might try it out. And like I said, we're going to... Oh, and then another big announcement. Huge announcement, chat, of a system that everyone has been waiting for and speculating for decades. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Good morning. How's everyone doing? What's going on, Eclipse? What's going on, Jason? What's going on, Travis? Altern, Roadkill. What's going on? Good morning. Sarge McCluskey, Kylo Green, Big Bad Mo. I keep saying bad. Big Mad Mo. I don't know why I say bad when I say it fast. I'm retarded. Let's see. Water Bear, what's going on? And I think that's it. Drummerman, what's going on? All right, so let's talk about Arc Raiders first, right? Apollo, what's going on? So Arc Raiders launched at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this morning with their new event and what's going on. People got up early. I was watching Burnt Peanut. I was watching Co Carnage. I was watching a bunch of people all doing the event. They're all running around trying to find the keys, right? First, there's, the stat of people all putting their stuff in the actual, resources and whatnot. And find out that that's broke at the moment. And then people are looking for keys. And then people were finding the keys. And they open up the event. But the event is on Bluegate, and in Bluegate, there's this section that if you play the normal game without doing this event, it's already open. But in this event, you have to find these keys, get these keys to open up the place that was already opened up in the regular setting. But in this match mode or game mode that they've put into the game, it's locked, and you have to find these keys. Well, then people go inside this room, and they found out that the loot was glitched. So what they've done here is they've taken something, and it's a small little speed bump here, but they've hyped up people are very excited about the game right now. The numbers keep climbing and whatnot, and yet we have another problem because the game, because it's a live service game, is broke and buggy and you could say unfinished for this event. So the event launched and people were super excited about it, but then people are very underwhelmed by what's actually happening. Okay. So they say they're fixing it on the fly, so it might be fixed today, but this is why, you got to test your stuff and make sure, that your game is actually working when you put an event out and you advertise the event. Hey, we have this event, which we're going to talk about right now. Okay. So Arc Raider reveals new game mode and cosmetic prices. After hearing a lot of feedback from the community, Embark Studios announced that they enabled duos matchmaking, which is bonus, right, for people in playing duos. Okay, Arc Raiders are also lowering the price store of cosmetic moving forward. Arc Raiders has made a big splash in the extraction shooter genre since the release on October 30th. Now, since the initial release, Arc Raiders has proven to be 2025's breakout hit, even overshadowing the likes of Battlefield 6, breaking the concurrent player record of Helldivers 2. Embark Studios seems to know that something special is on their hands, and they basically sabotaged themselves this morning. The event that people were excited for is not actually kind of working. So already announced plans to add new map, fresh quests, and plenty of other content coming in the weeks and months. While developers clearly have plan in place, and seems that they're also been keeping an eye on the feedback from the community. Okay. In a recent post, Embark Studios revealed that it will also prioritize duo matchmaking, which is already in the game. Immediately previously, when players initiate matchmaking, the community was split into solos or trios. As of right now, matchmaking will also prioritize playing duos with other duos. In the statement from Embark Studios, the developer did note that it isn't guaranteed that the duo will never run into groups of other sizes, which means 3. But matchmaking will still prioritize getting gamers into matches quickly, which could mean it's possible for duos to run into different groups. However, this is will likely be a big improvement for gamers who primarily prefer to run duos. Embark Studios, this is also, I think we read this bit yesterday. Let me see what this next one is. Okay, so the event that they have is Arc Raiders North Line update gets release date and new details. Okay, North Line update launches on November 13th, which is right now, today, earlier this morning. It was like 9 o'clock this morning overseas. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that for the States. Embark Studios has confirmed that release date of announced has also shared alongside new information about the upcoming content drop, which also will mark Arc Raiders' first major update. The North Line patch will coincide with 2-week anniversary of Embark's extraction shooter hitting the market for a while now. Nexon subsidiary has also been open about wanting Arc Raiders to diverge from typical live service content roadmaps by ditching seasons in favor of more flexible release cadence. Nevertheless, the game will still plan to receive several major updates before the end of 2025. As long as they come out and they work, I think people will be excited about it, okay? So Embark now has revealed that the release date for Arc Raiders' first major update, November 13th, called North Line. The content drop materialized at 1:30 a.m. Pacific, 4:30 a.m. Eastern, and 10:30 a.m. CET. Upcoming release of the new Arc Raiders map, Stella Montes, the region situation north of the Rust Belt, where players will be able to tackle new quests, learn more about the game's post-apocalyptic lore, proceed to the map unlock, and a global event called Breaking New Ground will make new places. So, again, they're doing an event, but there's problems with it. It also tasks players for pooling resources and restore tunnels leading to Stellas Montes, and the event will also feature multiple milestones, each offering unique rewards and challenges, all aimed at making the map's debut memorable moment in community. Now, Northline will introduce two new Arc threats, the Matriarch, and also appears under specific conditions, and the Shredder, which sounds horrific, right? Which only surfaces on Stellas Montes open. The new Arc Raiders weapon and will also be a part of the package, which will arrive including the Energy Burst battle rifle and multiple types of mines. Once the community unlocks the North Line map, a variety of new missions will open up. However, Embark is keeping the details close to their chest for now, having so far only to say the upcoming quest line will be themed around the game's icy new region. Okay. Northline will also mark the official start of Arc Raiders 2025 content roadmap, and it will set the stage for thematically similar updates called Cold Snap, which is introduced in a new Snowfall map condition, and the Flickering Flames event. On top of that, resting the expedition cycle, among other changes, Cold Snap is currently planned for December. So right now you get the new Stellas Montes map. The Breaking New Ground starts on November 13th at 10:30 a.m. CET, and a multi-phase community event leading to Stellas Montes Unlock. You get the Matriarch, and then you also got the Shredder. And then you get new weapons. You get the battle rifle, the Trailblazer grenade, the Seeker grenade, and Pulse mine, Deadline mine, and Gas mine. Another thing that's happening right now, which is actually pretty cool, lots of stuff happened like this for Destiny back in the day. Like when they released a raid, and there was like these puzzles that people had to figure out. What you find, which is actually pretty interesting, is that they're putting like an event. Like you had to find these keys inside the event that was happening on Bluegate right now. And what people were doing, I was watching two different ways you could do it, right? I was watching the Burnt Peanut and his group that was playing, and they were trying to get all the keys and murdering everybody to get the keys. And then I was watching Carnage, who was running around saying, hey, anybody find keys? And then everybody on his solo server was working together to figure out what the event was. And on Burnt Peanut's server, everyone was killing each other trying to get the loot for themselves, which is pretty interesting because one server is like Gollum, like mine, my precious. And on Co's server, everyone was like, hey, let's get this thing open. And they all open up. It's two different extremes, right? It's two different extremes, but both doing the exact same thing. So people were watching saying that this is broke. They were helping each other, even though they were two, because everyone's watching everyone else's stream. People are double dipping like myself in one stream to the other. So you can see the chat in one stream helping the other person in the other stream. Events like this are cool. But again, first impressions are everything. So now what this has happened is that this event has come out. The loot pool is official that it's broke. It was in the Discord server. So now when they come out with their next event, now you have it in the back of your mind like, oh, I hope this doesn't break like the last one, right? And I know it's not really a big deal, right? The game is still here. You're still playing the game. But this is yet another point where companies release things and they're not working. And I understand things break and stuff, but this is just like how Helldivers last year, when they came out and they were getting huge success and their servers crashed, and then they had to fix that, and then they won the fan base back, but then Sony wanted them to sign up and they lose interest again, and then they fix it again. And it's like, if they just work and do it correctly, you wouldn't have this, and you wouldn't break the bond that you're getting with your community. You're giving people just a little bit, and you're like, well, it's broke. I know they're gonna fix it, but the fact that it came out and the loot that everyone was running to, trying to figure it out and working together, and then all of a sudden it's not working correctly, it's a bummer, right? It's a bummer. So hopefully they get this thing figured out. Still cool stuff coming into the game. But yeah, it's a shame, again, that it's broke, buggy, and as we always say, unfinished. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in chat. Let's see. What's going on, Argus? Barber says, Game Pass is bad. That's why. I kid. Altern says, another broken, buggy game. No way. They didn't test it. What a surprise. A live service game broke. Good morning, Wonder Rose. Hopefully they give more time for people that can't do the event, because, of course, it's going to have bugs in the first time. And they've also done something like this, and they will learn, hopefully. Hopefully, right? It's just a bummer, you know? Imagine getting a new toy. You open up the toy and it's broke. You're like, oh. You go back to the store and exchange it for another toy. But the fact that you're like, this toy was broke. So now the next time you go buy a toy, you're like, man, I hope my toy's not broke. You know, that's the feeling that you get. Robert Jones says, having preferred matchmaking in separate quests and queues is great. No split player base. Yeah. Morning, Game of Fire. All right, let me see. Morning, Ron. Did everyone just stop playing Battlefield 6? I don't know. I don't think so. I think there's still people playing Battlefield 6. Let's look at the numbers. I mean, it's low, but the 24-hour peak, I mean, this doesn't look good, right? I mean, this is launch. This is RedSec that came out, and then here we are just 1 week later, right? 10 days, 12 days after? 14 days, 2 weeks. 2 weeks after it came out, and it's already down here. I said this last night in our stream run when we were playing Star Wars. I think it's funny that, remember, I used Tim the Tap Man as the example because he's the one that put himself out there saying, like, can't we have a battle royale? Can't we just have a battle royale? Can we have this? Okay. And yet, go look at his channel. Right? Actually, you know what? Let's go look at his channel, right? Let's go look at his channel real fast. Let's go see the last time Tim the Tap Man played. Okay, let's go to his main channel here. Let's go to his main channel. And let's look at all the videos, his live stuff that he had. Okay. Now, he's watched Rivals over here, but let's look, right? So RedSec came out 2 weeks ago. Exactly 2 weeks ago. Before this, he was playing Battlefield 6 nonstop, waiting for the Battle Royale to come out. Okay. Went back to Rivals a little bit after Arc Raiders and whatnot. Okay. Then RedSec came out, and he played it the first day it came out, the second day it came out, and then Arc Raiders launched. So the man who wanted a Battle Royale, for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, for the last 10 days, has been playing Arc Raiders and has not been playing the Battle Royale that he wanted in the Battlefield game. I mean, You wanted it, but yet you're not playing it. Make it make sense. This is exactly why you don't put a battle royale in a Battlefield game, because battle royale is not Battlefield. Okay? Battlefield's Battlefield. But whatever. You know? Just a little strange. And he's not the only one. He's the one that I pointed out because he's the one that said it in originally. Crowded House says this shit writes itself, right? Saw one streamer playing, and even though that it just launched, the community event and the progress is just 2% complete. It's Winzo because it's broke. So I was watching the Burt Peanut, and the percentage was at 13%. And then all of a sudden they made a change because of something, and it went down to 1%. And he was like, what the hell? And they found out that it was broke. Okay. So then they stopped doing that for a second, and they went to go do the event to go do the keys on the Blue Gate thing. And then they were trying to find the keys, and they finally found the keys, and they went into the actual place after to get the keys. They started rummaging through the stuff, and they went, wait a minute. This is the place that we got into on the regular map. And they're like, yeah, but now this is the event map, and this is the event. You have to get the keys to go into this section that you could get into normally inside of Blue Gate on a normal map. But this event, that place is closed, and it has a shit ton of loot inside. So then they got the keys, did the event, went into the actual bunker, and the loot was broke. The loot was actually broke. And the devs know about it, so it kind of just let the sails out of they were sort of like a wet fart. That's what happened. All right, so let's see. Poor Battlefield, 275,000 concurrent in Steam alone a month after launch. Has it been a month? I think it has been a month, right? Yeah, it has been a month because it came out the 10th of October. I played a match this morning in the feature playlist, still filled with bots. Altern says, the man who was crying for Battle Royale in Battlefield 6 is not playing the Battle Royale. Another thing streamers ruin. Yeah. He must be burnt out already. Yeah, he played two days of Battle Royale, Battlefield 6, and has never touched it again. Now, I do understand that he is a streamer, and if the content that viewers want to watch is Arc Raiders, then he'll play more Arc Raiders. But it is funny that he wanted to play Battle Royale, and either he can't play it because his viewers don't want to watch him play that, or he just doesn't have interest in Battle Royale because he knows it's just not that good. Oh, so that's part of the progress to unlock the new map? Yeah, the percentage of turning stuff in is that percentage. Okay, well that's broke. And then, or they changed something. It was at 13%, and then all of a sudden it went down to like 1%. And he was like, well, what the hell? So I'm not too sure exactly what happened there. But then the event that's happening on Blue Gate is broke right now for the loot. So nobody was getting cool loot inside the bunker. It was just the normal loot that was in there. Jason says, Tim and Ninja were both on the Marvel Rivals early access streams yesterday. So there you go. I mean, if you're getting sponsored and you're playing it, I mean, you know what I mean? I only hear good things about RedSec. I mean, sure. The good things about RedSec, again, let's go back to this. I'm sure there's good things happening. I'm sure. But something's happening because this is RedSec. This is launch. Slowly going down, waiting for that Battle Royale. Everyone's like, oh, I can't wait for Battle Royale. Battle Royale, it jumped back up over 500,000. And then now it's slow again. And we don't even know if all these people are playing Battle Royale because it's combined with the other one. So we don't know if people are playing the Battle Royale or they're playing the regular Battlefield. Either way, there's a lot less people playing now. And I'm not just talking about this concurrent player number. Just overall, there's less people playing now than there was before the Battle Royale came out. Sarge says Tim follows the View Bros. He's also dances like a monkey. That's his job. No, I get it. I get that, Sarge. But again, when he says that he wants to play a battle royale and he played 8 hours of it and then moved on, it just looks bad. Andrew Wilkins says the comment that Phil made about the Steam machine and saying Microsoft always wanted games everywhere shows how much nerve and BS Microsoft has constantly been full of. They refused crossplay with Sony in the past. No, that's not true, Andrew. The crossplay was PlayStation, not Microsoft. For that statement that you just said there, Sony literally stopped crossplay. They would literally pay people to not do crossplay. These are facts on that. As far as saying about the Steam machine, saying that Microsoft always wanted games everywhere, that's a change in the system. Now, I know you're new here, but myself, 6 years ago, I said where Microsoft is going. I knew what Microsoft was doing before Microsoft knew what they were doing. Windows says they nerfed the security breach ability from the skill tree when you unlock the containers. They need that skill. Interesting. Waterbear says the good thing about RedSec is it was also a foothold for Black Ops 7. That's it. Well, we'll see, because Black Ops launches, well, early access already, but launches tomorrow, right? We'll see what the numbers do then. Orlick says I can't wait for Path of Exile 2's next big update. They're releasing the Druid class. Oh, nice. I didn't know that. Andrew says the 7th gen Microsoft refused crossplay with them because Microsoft was ahead of the time. Again, Sony though was on record paying people to stop crossplay. Remember, Epic was the only reason that they started doing crossplay and stuff. Sony was holding on to the last possible thing to not do crossplay. They didn't want to do crossplay. Microsoft knew that they needed crossplay because they were behind, right? We looked at all the numbers for all the systems. Microsoft has never been in first place ever. They've always been in third place, second place sometimes throughout the entire 25 years that they've had console. And they were like, what do we do? Well, we got to get our games on other people's platforms and we want crossplay. PlayStation's like, it's all about the exclusives. We don't want crossplay because we want people to buy our system. They held on as long as possible, and then they launched it, or lost it, I should say, and now everyone does crossplay. Because that's what the market wanted. Travis says, this is a pro Xbox chat for the most part, Andrew. Just letting you know. I will also let you know that Travis is full of shit the entire time. He just says shit to say shit, just to let you know. Turner says, sounds like a lot of Sony thing, and sounds like a lot of money hating for multiplayer games. Says they also rumored about Steam on Xbox even before the launch of the current gen. Correct. Thank you, Sarge. Pro Xbox, roll on the fucking floor. This is also called. It was also see it, Travis. This is a pro gaming channel. Thank you very much, Sarge. You got to go to Reforge Gaming Chat if you want 99% Ultra Pro PlayStation chatter, Echo Chamber experience, Andrew. I remember Sony didn't want to do it last gen, though I remember there was also a multiplayer game Sony wanted to do in the 7th gen, and the Microsoft refused because they had the market share at the time in the gen. What was the market share and what game was that, Andrew? I'm asking because I don't know. What game was that they refused to have crossplay with? The only person that gets shit for being a PlayStation guy is Travis, but that's because the way his opinions. Exactly, Argus. It's not about him being a PlayStation guy. It's him being just a troll is what it is. He doesn't believe in anything he says. He just says it. I mean, that's what it is. Eclipse says, I'm a pro consumer. Whoever saves me money is who I like. Right. You're actually a customer, Eclipse. You're not a consumer. You're a customer. Jason says, I agree with chat is pretty pro Xbox. Who do you guys read chat about? Mo? Hey, what are you guys talking about? The people that are in this chat are not pro Xbox besides delusional Mo that puts the hashtags in all the time. You guys are insane. I give Mo just as much shit as I give Travis because they're both Sony Pony / Xbot. You guys are insane. I like PC, but it's also exclusive for PlayStation 5. I'll grab it. And also drops the PC day and date. Well, we already know PC. I'll have to look it up again. People covered this. I'll check this type of the chat when I get a chance. Yeah, I don't know what in this generation Microsoft was trying to stop crossplay from happening. I would like to know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know all the answers, so I would love to know what game that Microsoft was stopping. They didn't want crossplay. Aku says, I wouldn't fully say pro Xbox, more like pro reality. Arca says, half of the chat is PC, 30% of the chat is Xbox users and not fanboys. The 20% is the PlayStation fans that give or take. I would say that's pretty even. We're pretty across the board. Quick Google search states that Microsoft was mostly against crossplay because they had the market share in the beginning of the summer. Yeah, but what was that? 7th gen, are you talking about, was it Xbox 360? Are you going back like 15 years? Because when Microsoft started doing crossplay, Sony was the last one to stop not doing crossplay. You might be correct in saying that Microsoft didn't do crossplay back 18 years ago. But that's 18 years ago. The last one to hold on to crossplay was Sony. Tarnish says, doesn't matter who didn't want crossplay 15 years ago. 90% of multiplayer titles are crossplay today. Exactly, Tarnish. Jesse says, we just love games and stop being pro this, pro that. Tarnish also says, that's also better if we wanted to stay relevant. No platform is going to deny crossplay in 2025. Exactly. I don't understand what you're saying in the 7th gen. The last person to stop crossplay, and Epic is the one, right? Epic is the one, 360, and Phil was there at the time. Phil Spencer was not I don't believe was in his position during the 360. I'm pretty sure he worked for the company, but he wasn't in that position. I could look it up. Let me see. He took over in March of 2014. Okay. Xbox 360 release date was 2005. So Phil Spencer wasn't the head of the company at the time that Microsoft didn't want to do crossplay. He took over during the Xbox One era. He came in 2014. Does that make me an Xbot now because I'm looking up like information, Travis? 360, Phil was there at the time. Yeah, but he didn't have anything to do with what was said. He wasn't anywhere near the top of the food chain. Waterbear says the reason the Absolute is selling more, Absolute is selling more than pretty much all the comics except for Transformers at the moment. I love the Transformers series right now. I just picked up issue 25. It's good. Aku says crossplay during 360 era was denied because it just wasn't the technical abilities. It was full pull it off, and it was good for have a good product. Sony had to have arm twisted multiple times to get on board for the crossplay and cross save. Yeah, it was because of Epic, not because of Microsoft. Epic with Fortnite like changed the game across the board, right? Changed the game across the board by mobile with Apple and trying to get their game on the Apple Store and whatnot, right? Microsoft helped them out, trying to get them with the browser across the thing. Epic with Fortnite changed a lot about crossplay. Phil was GM of Europe, Mid East, and Africa during the time that have to do with the cross-buy. Phil will state Microsoft has always had games everywhere mentality and goal. That's part of a lie, I'm saying. Well, Halo's been on Apple since 2003. So Phil stating that Microsoft has always had games everywhere mentality would be correct. Again, not protecting Phil, just stating a fact that Microsoft games have been on other platforms basically the entire time Microsoft has been out with Xbox. A lot of the chat is pro Xbox, is us correcting information that people say because they don't know the full backstory. Correct. Right? Literally, Microsoft has been cross and multi-platform for almost the entire generation that Xbox got into the market. It might not be a lot of games, but there are games that they have that they put on all platforms. Jason says Sony bad, Microsoft good. No one's saying that. Nobody's saying that. We're just fixing it with facts of what's happening. When someone says something, you have to say what the actual thing is. But where did I say, Andrew, that Sony didn't? Do you see what I'm saying? I didn't say that Sony didn't do it. All I said was that you said that they didn't want to do cross, and Phil Spencer said it was always been mentality of cross-platform. It has been. Nope. See, this is where it goes down the rabbit hole of people saying that this person's this because they said this. No, nobody said anything about Sony not doing the same thing. The statement was that Phil Spencer said this, and it is true because Microsoft has been cross-platform, multi-plat for the entire time. Okay. Now, everyone looks at it because of the console and says, well, Gears wasn't here and Gears wasn't there. But Microsoft as a company had games on multiple platforms the entire time Xbox has been out. These are facts. Nowhere did I say that Sony hasn't done this. You said that Microsoft was stopping crossplay during the 7th generation, and you said Phil Spencer did it. Phil Spencer had nothing to do with that. That was completely someone else before he took over. That's also 15 years ago. Now we're talking about the current gen. And the only reason crossplay changed over is because of Fortnite, because of Epic. Andrew spews nonsense a lot. He's also a Chaos Stream with some handheld misinformation. 30 Mac and PC aren't considered platforms. That's correct, Walter. Yeah, not considered platforms. Microsoft keeps games off Sony in recent years, though. It makes his statement false. Like what they did with Starfield. Okay, so I'm confused here. What point are you trying to get across here? Is it good that Microsoft is crossplay or bad that Microsoft is crossplay? Is it okay that Microsoft and Sony are doing crossplay or not okay that they're doing crossplay? Because you're going way around to say Phil Spencer's doing something, even though Phil Spencer had nothing to do with what happened 15 years ago with crossplay. And you're saying 7th gen, but now you're bringing in that Starfield for current gen. So you're all over the place on what you're trying to make a point of. Aku says people that come in and say something like Xbox people don't buy games and look at the games and Sony sells 1 to 3% on the platform, but Xbox Series sells 3 to 4% on the platform. But yeah, Xbox chat. Yeah, Epic had a bug where you could play with the PlayStation people, right? And they try to stop it. Or Bear says, I still remember back in the day seeing Halo on a Mac in GameStop. Yeah. It's one of the only times I played, because that's what I had when I was in college. I had an Apple, I forget it wasn't an iMac. It was a laptop. I forget what the name of the laptop was, but I played Halo on it. His statement about we're always about putting games everywhere is false. That's it. But we never brought this up. You did. And to get to that point, what you just said, you had to go back to the 7th generation, blame Phil Spencer for that, which it wasn't. And then you jump back to the present day, and then you added Sony has been on other platforms. And I don't know where you're going with this conversation, Andrew. I don't know if you came from someone else's channel and they like to argue and stuff like that, because we weren't even talking about this. He doesn't know the point that he's trying to get across, Dirty. He dug himself in a hole multiple times in the past like this. So I'm assuming, Tarnish, that he goes in other chats that you're in. Let me make this clear, right? This is not a debate channel. I'm assuming you come from Reforge, which is fine. I like Reforge, right? Me and him go friends. Okay. But this is not a debate channel. This is I read the news and we have conversations about the news stories. If you have a hard on for Sony or you have a hard on for Xbox, by all means, there's other channels out there that you can go fluff their knob. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Okay. I read the news. We have conversations about the topics of the news stories. We don't hijack the actual news stories. See what I'm saying? Cool. As we move on. Next story. Okay. Responding to the problems in live service games is like having a big clock, says Battlefield 6 director. You measure the value of your time to the player so you know you're paying attention. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay? So responding to the problem of a live service game, like having a big clock, says Battlefield 6 director, you measure the value of your time to the player so they know you're paying attention. Okay? There was a brief, beautiful moment when everybody seemed happy with Battlefield 6. That was called fantasy, okay? Because everyone wanted to make Battlefield 6 what they thought Battlefield should have been in the past, which they failed in Battlefield 5, which they failed in Battlefield 2042. You know what this is, chat? This channel is a Battlefield hater channel. That's what this actual channel is, okay? But it returns to a modern military gunplay with big link to destruction, won over them with a cynical of multiplayer first-person shooter heads, okay? But then the Battle Royale mode, RedSec, came out, and the live service gears into emotion and disappointed the new map and weekly challenges and mandated a Battle Royale play, putting a decisive end to Battlefield 6 honeymoon period. I love that they said this. I love that they say this because I said that this mode would completely destroy what Battlefield is. I said it months before when they said they're going to put a Battle Royale in. I said, you put this in the mode, it will kill Battlefield. If it's good or if it's bad, Battle Royale will kill Battlefield. And here we are. So with Battlefield Studios rushing quill the issue, the Steam reviews dropped to a mix. Battlefield 6 developers have also addressed the situation. Speaking to IGN, design director Justin Wiebe assured players that the studio is always listening. Okay. As soon as the game launched, we had people kind of looking at the forms of players' communication and taking notes and saying, okay, well, we had to plan to do this in the live service, but hearing that is a problem for the community, Wiebe explained. He says, quote, if this problem for the community, then it's a talk about it. Let's see how we can prioritize that. Wiebe also discussed that Battlefield Studios' approach to responding to the issue brought up by the community in a live service scenario. He says, quote, I always say live service, you have a big clock, he says. Every time there's also a player issue, you start the clock and measure the value of your time to the player. So you can also make sure that the player in the community knows that they're listening, and we're also looking or going to be able to do what we can react. Here's the thing. How about you make a game, sell a game? Instead of putting something in the game and then waiting for your player base to tell you how to fix the game or what to do, you should just make a game. You should just make the game, right? So, but addressing problems the community raises must be as balanced against the game's existing roadmap. We're also weighing it against the future ambitions of all different content and experiences we want to create from the live service, because it's just the beginning of the experience. And we also want to make sure that we're also addressing player feedback, and we're also adding new and exciting experiences for players to play. It says, while we provide some of the interesting insight into the studio's mindset, it isn't just a substantive in terms of addressing the issue of RedSec suffered from the launch, but Weeby was also able to do a direct about how the studio's approach changes to RedSec's map, Portland, and also seasonal update progress. What do you guys hear when you hear that they're listening to feedback and then changing the game as they go along? What that sounds like to me is that they're putting a lot more effort into the Battle Royale than they are into the regular game of Battlefield, meaning a lot of the procedurals that are going in, the changes, are not fixing for the actual game. Remember, it took them a month to fix that, the mobile AA gun, okay, that people were using that was just one-shotting all the planes and stuff. It took them a month to fix that. But they're making changes to RedSec like this, right? So it makes you wonder, where do their allegiance lie? Is it to Battlefield, the game, which has been around for 23 years? Or does their allegiance lie to the new Battle Royale mode that they have to keep up going and changing things as they go through, right? So it says, when we do map updates, we're going to spend a bunch of time working on that map. I want to make sure that that's also addictive to the player's experience and explain. It's also just a quick cosmetic hit, right? There's also new fun things to explore there. It also adds gameplay in new and meaningful ways. That's right. They're just constantly going to keep changing the map, keeping you coming back. Don't say anything about the future maps coming to Battlefield 6, though perhaps this is because the brand new map named Eastwood arrives early next week. Roy Norris spent a few hours rumbling through Eastwood's October and came away impressed. This by far is the most intense yet breathable map in Battlefield 6, but it also struck me as how insanely iconic it felt. Okay, so again, the maps have been shitty. And the map that people like is the map for the Battle Royale, but the Battle Royale map is not actually in the regular game. The regular game has really small maps. People are complaining about the small maps. They don't really hear all that. They're just like, no, we have bigger maps coming, just so deal with it. And then they have a big map for the Battle Royale, but the Battle Royale is not doing so hot. As we go back to the Battlefield numbers here, again, here's the Battle Royale right here. And then since then, the first couple days, here we are, 28th to November 2nd, which is that Sunday. And after that, off a cliff. And then, again, these are the numbers for the entire game, not just RedSec. So RedSec is not bringing a bunch of people in to play. If that's because of Arc Raiders, if that's because of other games out, if that's because of Tarkov, whatever it is, the Battle Royale didn't help Battlefield franchise. In my opinion, it's hurt it, because now you've split the player base. And this number, as here, I'll refresh it, right? This number represents the main game, the people in the portal, and also RedSec. And that is worrying, at least for me as a Battlefield fan. I didn't buy the game because I knew it was a Trojan horse. I knew that the end game wasn't about the actual game. It was about RedSec. It was about Gauntlet. It was about the other things that Battlefield is not. Portal, RedSec, and now Gauntlet, and whatever other game modes they're going to be putting in. Right? They have way more game modes that are coming into this game, and that's just going to hurt the player base even more, because Battlefield is not Fortnite. Okay? Battlefield is not Minecraft. Battlefield is Battlefield. And yet EA is trying to force feed you that Battlefield is a platform, and the platform is going to do this, and this is what they're going to do over the time. This will kill the game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Let me scroll back up and see what you guys are saying. Let's see here. Let's see. Don't even know what the fluffer is, which makes it more hilarious. Oh, does he not know what the fluffer is? Okay. Baffled Steam numbers are all about to jump off the cliff. We'll see what happens when Call of Duty comes out and what happens to Battlefield. Call of Duty will outsell Battlefield. Xbox fans don't buy more games. Almost all Xbox first parties sell poorly, especially Forza games. Forza Horizon only averages about 2 million per release. Well, if you do the numbers, like for instance, Arc Raiders that just came out, percentage-wise, obviously, it's percentage-wise. So PlayStation has 80 million games or systems out there, 80 million. And yet they had 400, I think it was like, what was the number? It was like 435,000 people playing Arc Raiders. If you take the number of that out of the 80 million people, right, the percentage is like, I think it's like 3%, something like that. But then if you take the number, because there's only 28 million people, and there was 350,000 people that bought Arc Raiders on Xbox, that was like 4.2%. So that would be more people on Xbox per capita, even though there's 3-to-1 or 2-to-1, whatever, that Sony has over Xbox. More people on Xbox are buying games. Now, as far as first-party games and stuff like that, they already paid for it, right? They're baked into the actual ecosystem of Game Pass. Just like the companies used to lose money off the actual console, they would lose money off the console and make money off the software. Well, now they're not doing that, right? Now they're just selling the software, which is Game Pass, a monthly subscription. So remember, games are not supposed to cost $70. So they're making money off of them. For instance, when Starfield came out, the way they had people sell, they sold 2 million copies on console. And then they also sold, I think it was something around, because they sold 2 million or 3 million off of PC, just off Steam. But then the people on console, it was 1 million. It was 1 million people off console that bought it. Total was like 4 million. But everyone got the DLC or the package to pay 5 days early, and it came with the DLC that came out, a year later? And they paid $30 for that. So not only did they pay $30 to get early access for 5 days, and they didn't pay for the game, but then they were already there for months and months afterwards, paying $10, $15, $20 at the time. Now it's $30. So they were making money off those people. And they also, remember, if it's not first party, Microsoft is paying those companies to put their third-party games on the actual platform. And when they do that, they're paying for copies. They're like, hey, how many copies do you think you're going to sell, or would you like to sell? And those companies are like, I don't know, let's say it was Tunic, and Tunic's like, I want to sell 400,000 copies. They're like, okay, here you go. Here's the money for 400,000 copies. Now you're on Xbox. So if nobody buys it on Xbox, Xbox still paid Tunic a percentage of whatever they thought they would like to make to just put it on the Xbox to give more value to the Game Pass. Argus says, I'll probably play Call of Duty for a month, only because the movement feels great. We're going to talk about Call of Duty in a second, Argus. They're putting a game mode in there that I might try it out just because. But you have to play through the campaign. I didn't even get through the last campaign. I wasn't really too excited about the campaign. Kylo says, didn't Horizon 5 sell 3 million copies alone on PlayStation? What are you talking about? It sold 4 million, I think, right? Didn't it sell 4 million? Was it Forza Horizon? No, you're correct. Horizon 5 sold over 3 million copies on PlayStation 5, making it the best-selling new game in 2025 on the platform. Originally, the Xbox exclusive was released on PlayStation 5 in late April 2025. Yeah, so it sold 3 million copies. I thought it sold 4 million copies. It was 3 million copies. You are correct. Argus says, Mike isn't going to glaze on any of these platforms or the game devs companies here. He's all about the games and the gamers. A big clock, like a Flavor Flav. Hey, for those that also mean to have a certain amount of time and hold on to the population, they also mean making a good product instead of lying about shit. We watched that video yesterday, Sarge, about the streaming services, right? Instead of trying to make a better product, they're trying to figure out how to stop piracy from happening instead of just making a better product, which the pirates made. They made a better product about piracy, so it's easier for people to pirate game or pirate movies to make it look like it's better than Netflix. Companies don't want to make better products. They want to make minimal viable product. Minimal viable product. Travis says Black Ops 7 campaign isn't out yet. Most of the early access people say it's actually better than Battlefield BF6 campaign. So, but that's not saying a lot, Travis. Why? First of all, why would they compare a campaign from Call of Duty to Battlefield? I would compare a Call of Duty game to the past Call of Duty games. Why would they compare it to Battlefield 6's campaign? But they have a bigger player base, so of course the first-party games will sell more. Correct, but percentage-wise, right? If you have 80 million consoles out there, but you're only selling 4 million copies of your first-party game, that's not very good, right? Look at Nintendo. Nintendo has, for the Switch, has 154 million, right? And they're selling 68 million, right? Even before they broke 100 million, their first-party titles are selling 30 to 40 million copies, right? That's what you want. Sony doesn't have that. Xbox doesn't have that. When they sell their first-party titles, top 10, 11 million copies, right? They're not getting the 30 million copies. Kyle says, I think the last COD campaign played was Black Ops 1, the number man. The last one I played was Modern Warfare 2 in 2009. We played last year's Call of Duty campaign. I got into the section where you started tripping balls and you were doing the zombie stuff in the game. I want to say I was about 5-6 hours in, and I just was like, I'm done. I don't, it's not gelling with me. Quintar says, kind of regret getting Battlefield 6. I mean, I get it. I had a friend, Todd the Gator, who does a podcast that we've been on a couple times. He bought Battlefield 2042. He was super excited about it, and he regretted buying it. I don't think he bought Battlefield 6. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. But yeah, my regret when I bought was Division 1. I regretted Division 1 until like 2 years afterwards. I was like, I shouldn't have bought this game. I like Division 1. I like Division 2 much better than Division 1, but Survivor. But I've never had any kind of like regret buying a game because I always get out something out of it. But I feel you. I'm not a Battlefield guy, but you did call it, Mike. I mean, I could see it. I could see it in the writing, Mo. I told people Battlefield is not going to be what it is. Everyone thinks it is. Astro says I was run over by the Battlefield hype train. I don't know why, but it's not the game I played during the beta phase. I told you when I played the beta, I said I had a lot of fun. I said, but I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, and the other shoe has dropped. Sarge says, Quintar, you don't say. Another step in being a better customer. You're doing right. Yeah. Just learn that. Like right now, you could buy Battlefield 6, right? Right now, if you didn't buy Battlefield 6 on day one, you can still buy it week one. You can still buy it month one. Imagine just waiting the month one, right? And looking back at what they're playing and what it is now. And you're like, I saved money. Saved myself the time. That's the biggest thing. You save yourself the time. Money you'll make back, right? Money you'll make back. You go back to work. You work your hours. You make the money back. No big deal. But it's the time. It's the time that you put into that game that they don't respect your time because they nerf guns that you get. They nerf the grind, okay? They make it as hard as possible in the beginning until people start leaving. And they're like, wait, don't go. We're gonna buff it a little bit so you don't have to do all that stuff. So imagine that you spent 20 hours of your time when the game first came out to unlock the same things that people can do in 3 hours now, right? You can't get your time back. Time is never coming back. Your money you get back, time you don't. This is why I say don't buy games day one. Don't pre-order. Don't buy day one. Wait. There's so much information out there. You can see so many different people. Aku says people literally buy COD and sports games. The majority don't play exclusives. Oh, you're talking about PlayStation. And they play Fortnite across all the boards, right? PlayStation, Xbox, Minecraft, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Roadblocks. What was the 6 games, right? Oh, you'll run the campaign with me if we do COD? The only reason I would run the campaign, Mo, is to get to what I want to see what the extraction is. And the only reason I would do this is because it's on Game Pass. I wouldn't pay for it because I'm not buying another COD game. I haven't bought a COD game since 2009 for Modern Warfare 2. But I'll be honest, as I say it, I don't even know if I want to give it a shot. But they have an extraction PvE that they're putting in the game, right? So we could talk about that in a second. Flavor Flav. Andrew says, Sea of Thieves sold 1.8 million on PlayStation 5, and the Forza have low player counts on PlayStation 5. Now, that's not good for live service games. But that game came out 5 years ago and 8 years ago. Sea of Thieves came out 8 years ago. They sold you a full-price game. Well, actually, Sea of Thieves is only $40. But Forza came out 5 years ago, and they sold you a full-price game 5 years later. That's a joke. Right? If I was a PlayStation person, I wouldn't have bought Forza or Sea of Thieves. Like, I'm not paying full price for those things that have been out for fucking 5 to 8 years. Prices are supposed to go down, not up. Still beat the campaign in Battlefield 6, but multiplayer is if it more like COD. Yeah, it sucked. Even during the beta, I was like, this feels like COD. But everyone thinks I was doing like a 1-to-1 per comparison. That's COD. No, it just feels like COD. It's not a Battlefield. That's what I'm at. Right now, we're talking about Battlefield. Battlefield was talking about problem with live service and how they have to keep it going. And I talked about it saying that basically, if they keep supporting the Battlefield, the Red Sec, Battlefield Battle Royale, it'll kill the regular game. They're putting more effort into the live service aspect than they actually putting into the actual game. They still have to fix a bunch of stuff inside of the main game, multiplayer game for Battlefield 6. I don't have the mug with me. Sarge. It's being washed right now. So I can show it off tonight. Oh, so tomorrow I'm calling because I still haven't received my shirt. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I love if people bought stuff, right? Memorabilia stuff, whatever, the mug, the shirt, the sticker, whatever. Don't buy shit from the link down below, okay? Because I ordered a shirt for myself so I could wear it on stream, and I haven't received it yet, okay? I got the mug, never received the shirt, okay? So if someone ordered and you get your shirt before me, let me know, okay? But I cannot, so I'm going to call them tomorrow, and if they can't help me, then all this is going down, and I have to find someone else to print the stuff out because I'm not working with a fucking company that doesn't have their shit together. You know what I'm saying? So don't buy anything. Right? Sarge said I ordered no shirt. Yeah, I got the mug, no shirt. Right? And I found out it's not coming from California, it's coming from Illinois. Yeah, Sea of Thieves is a good game. We said it would sell about 1 to 2 million over there. It's a good game. Now, it wasn't a good game when it came out. I know, I play tested it for 2 years before it came out. And when they launched, I was like, they releasing this game like this? It took a good 4 years to get to the spot where Sea of Thieves is like really good. When did it come out? It came out in Yeah, it came out like 2016, right? 16, 17, Sea of Thieves? 2018. I played in 16. Yeah, I was testing 16 through 18. And it came out. And it was broke. Yeah, it was March 20th, 2018, Ashraf. Ashraf says I can also see Microsoft scamming PlayStation fans into buying Halo remakes instead of just porting MC. It's exactly what they're doing. And they're giving them a worse experience, right? They're making the graphics better for Unreal Engine, but they're not giving them multiplayer. They're just giving them the campaign. And they'll probably charge them $60, $70 for that. Right? It's like, what the hell? Bat says it's like Battlefield 6 from top player base now going down. The Arc Raider from below player base going up. Is it Teespring? I think it's Teespring, yeah. There's two different companies. Teespring I ordered from, and they didn't give it to me. So do not order anything from them. If so, drop those guys. Okay. Well, the problem is YouTube pushes them. They're like, this is the people we use. So we're going to have to use somebody else that YouTube's not using because it's fucking bullshit. Yeah, I'll do that after the stream, Quintar. I'm actually, once I'm off the phone call tomorrow, because my day off is tomorrow. So I'm going to call him tomorrow because it might be in transit. It says it's being delivered, but it has yet to be here. The mug came, right? The mug came a week afterwards. I was like, oh, cool. But the shirt, not so much. Robert Jones says, too many games. I just bought Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders, but now I have Arc Survival bug again. Oh, you want to go back to Arc Survival? What happened to Arc 2? When's that supposed to come out? That was supposed to come out this year, wasn't it? And they got postponed again? True, they might be slammed if YouTube is pushing the company. Yeah, from behind the scenes, they're like, oh, this is who you like. They promote like, hey, sell these. These are links that we put in the bottom. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go there and I'm like, all right, well, yeah, it's easy to put on there. Easy to upload your stuff. Easy to put the thing down below. And I'm like, all right, let me order something. Here we are, holding my dick in my hand, right? Like, no product. It's like the regular corporations. They'll take your money, but they don't. You got to wait on us. You got to wait on us. Will the way the Remain is going Arc 2 next 3 more years? Oh, God. It's because Vin Diesel cost too much, right? And didn't they have him in the trailer like 2-3 years ago? Remember they were actually going to charge? Arc is such a... They have such drama with Arc when they did Arc 1 and when they did the DLC and all the other stuff. Oh, my God. Charged full price, and they would lower the price, and they did... All right. Let's go to the Call of Duty here. The Call of Duty story is COD Black Ops 7 Worlds Collide and Endgame explained. Black Ops 7 provides players with Worlds Collide download, but also what exactly is it? And what does it contain? Find out right here. Great, let's find out. Okay, so the global launch of Call of Duty installment, the Worlds Collide players can expect some very interesting things that without mentioning the highly detailed, innovative endgame. Okay, sounds like a bunch of malarkey to me. Malarkey. Bring that back. Okay, we talk about in-depth based on what the Call of Duty blogs have been saying and ready for launch post, okay? So what is Black Ops 7 Worlds Collide? Okay, Worlds Collide is what Black Ops 7 has called its campaign and endgame pack. So don't be alarmed if you install a selection of Worlds Collide, multiplayer, and zombies as separate installs. How many gigs are you taking up in my system, Activision? How many gigs are you taking up in my thing for one freaking game? Okay. Bountiful Endgame, and also been long promised from Call of Duty, ready for launch, a blog post says, if you don't want to try the campaign and what is offered in the endgame, then the Worlds Collide download can safely be ignored so that you can focus on multiplayer and zombies. Okay, but the intel provided from the blog post makes the co-op campaign and endgame seem very interesting, innovative, and rewarding to experience, and here's why. Okay, I'm listening. Okay, Black Ops 7 Endgame explained. What is the co-op endgame mode for Black Ops 7? After completing the first 11 missions of the campaign, you will unlock Avalon as a massive open map for the enter into solos or squads of a maximum of 4 players. With a total of 32 players in the world for a PvE experience. The objective is to deploy in Avalon to split off and pursue objectives and fight against different zones, each dictated by its own danger level and challenges through combat ratings in order to amass more loot to harness the potential of your unique loadout. Why do I feel, and again, I'm giving the smell test here, chat. I'm giving the smell test. Okay. Why do I feel like they just added this on at the last second? Why do I feel that because people are asking for PvE modes all the time, they're like, hey, you know what? How do we get people to play our campaign? Because nobody plays the campaign. A very, very small percentage of people play the campaign that Call of Duty puts in. Okay. So they're like, how do we get people to play it? Well, let's put a PvE co-op mode, Extraction, at the end, okay, that you have to play the campaign to get to this point. Now, I'll be honest, I am interested because we've talked about give me a PvE mode in Arc Raiders, okay? We've had long conversations about stuff like this. We know it's coming, okay? Down the road, it will come. But here is Activision, and they're like, what about if we put an Extraction PvE experience at the end? Now, I don't know if it's an Extraction, but you're getting loot, you're getting things, and you have to get out, right? So, very interesting. It says to start the end game, you'll choose the operator, custom your loadout, drop into Avalon through the wingsuit, and explore the vast map on foot or in vehicle. Right? Sounds very casual, doesn't it? The missions available in Avalon vary from there are also a bunch of deadly threats around every corner, including zombies. If you need to break out of a simple what to extract your loot, okay, then you can also exfile to save your equipment for the next time you drop in Avalon. But failing to extract will see you lose everything to obtain during the mission except for the XP and levels you gain. So what is this loop that's happening against just the PvE? Now, what does this mean if this works out? If people play through the actual campaign and actually go into this end game, they actually play this co-op 32-player PvE stuff. Do you see what Arc Raiders is doing right now, right? You see what Helldivers is doing right now, where they're constantly updating stuff and making it sound like a community type of thing. Sounds like a DMZ PvE? Yeah, right? But why would you need 32 players in the world in a PvE experience? Sounds like maybe big boss fights. Sounds like maybe some community event that you could do work together to try to unlock certain things, right? Sounds very odd what they're trying to do here. Because they know that the Extraction, just like back in the day when Battle Royales were coming in and Fortnite, they swap real fast, right? They were just doing their tower defense game, and then they decided to make a Battle Royale and stole basically everything from Bluehole, okay? And then they made the Battle Royale that you know today. And then everybody else made a Battle Royale. Sounds like Call of Duty knows that the Extraction shooter vibe is going to catch up because of Marathon, because of Arc Raiders, and they're like, you know what? What about if we put this in here? And this is a good testing ground, right? Remember, Call of Duty is also working on a completely separate, Okay, completely separate game that still in the area of what Call of Duty is. Maybe this is the testing ground for it. Maybe it is the 32 player PvE, but they threw it into this to see what people would like. Okay, it says next time you drop in, you get all the XP in game. It says the end goal for Endgame is to reach Zone 4 by gaining power through missions, and that help you to increase your combat rating. Zone for 4 is where players will find the greatest challenge. But also worth noting that the journey is just as fun as the destination. The players can experience Black Ops 7 campaign Endgame as a way to earn XP, weapon levels, weapon camos, battle pass progression without the need for PvP. In multiplayer and Warzone for hours and hours for horrors of round-based zombies. Okay. So again, I think this is very interesting what they're trying to do here, because basically what Battlefield 6 has done with Battle Royale to ruin their game, I think Call of Duty is doing another thing. They're trying to make their game a platform. You can either play multiplayer, you can play the extraction, PvE, you can play the campaign, you could play Warzone, right? You could constantly play different things, and they all get your battle pass up because they're all competing for your time. They're all competing for your time. They don't care if you're playing PvP. They don't care if you're playing PvE. They don't care if you're playing campaign. They don't care if you're playing the Warzone. But they do care about how do we get people into this other mode. Well, let's see how many people are interested. They have to go through the campaign to get to that mode. And that's going to be an interesting part, because it could go horribly wrong because people don't want to play the campaign to get to that thing, or they just go through the campaign as fast as possible to get to that destination to then see what it is. And that's going to take time. Okay, that's going to take time, like a week or so, for people to go through the campaign. Well, the campaign's short, but it'll take time for people to do reviews of what the end game stuff is, because they have to go through the campaign. But very interesting. 32 players. You can go one player, you can go up to 4 players in your group, and 32 people on the actual map. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you guys think is going to happen here with this? Right? Do you think this game mode is going to take off? Do you think that the game mode's not going to take off because people just don't want to play the campaign going through? It's a smart way to make people go through the campaign to get to this new game mode or whatnot that they're experimenting with. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, please check out some other videos. Thanks for watching. Let's see here. Activision, what's optimization? Never heard of that word. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, wow, zombies, too. You can check it out. Might be pretty badass. It might. The problem is I got to go through the fucking campaign. Water says people might definitely play the campaign now. Right. Just kind of get through it, just so they can get to the next section. The only fun sounding thing about this is 32 players. The only reason I might check it out is because it's on Game Pass. This is also another thing. Think about this. Think about where Microsoft is coming from. To play Call of Duty, you have to either purchase it, and if you play on Game Pass, you have to have the $30, right? And they're like, well, if I pay the $30, I have to play the campaign. But now they have this mode, right? You're not... Think about how smart this is, right? Now they have this mode that people will just pay $30 to play the campaign, and then maybe they go bye-bye. But now they pay $30 to play the campaign of Call of Duty instead of buying the game. You should just buy the game if you're going to do it this way, because it'll be cheaper for you. But now they have this $30 model where if they keep upgrading this thing that you can't unlock until you play the campaign, and you don't own the actual game, but you're renting it from the actual Game Pass, well, then you're paying monthly to try to get it, right? Because it's not a free-to-play mode. It's only unlocked after you play the campaign. Very interesting. See if it works out for them. It's a bold move, Cotton. See if it plays out. Robert Jones says, imagine a polished Starship Troopers. Yeah, but I don't want to pay monthly payment for this, right? So if this mode is cool and good, an actual good game mode, then people would go buy Call of Duty. But if you don't buy Call of Duty, then you're paying a monthly fee of $30 to play it. We only got Ultimate until December 1st. I'll happy to watch and get invested. it might all coincide with part of the story. Perhaps. Even if it does, Mo. Again, what I just said, to play the campaign, you either have to buy the game, and if you're not buying the game, you're playing it on Game Pass, you're paying $30 a month, basically, to keep playing the Endgame. Yeah, you could play the campaign with 4 players as well. If they added it to Warzone, now we're talking. Yeah, but then Warzone would be what? PvE with the looting stuff? I'm going to go back a bit. People have been and still are too busy fighting the console wars. They also missed the note that Microsoft changed it to platform war, and Sony's still focused on the console. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second with the Steam console that we're going to talk about. Loaded has a deal where you can also get the Ultimate for like $11 just to have it to let you subscribe expire and then add it because they don't stack. Got it. I never played Warzone. I played the DMZ stuff that they had. Was it last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I forget which year I played it. It was a couple years ago. But when I played the DMZ stuff, I was just like, I want to go play Battlefield. But we didn't have Battlefield because we had Battlefield 2042. Robert Jones says, forcing the campaign is a hard pass. Right. People don't even like the campaign. I mean, it's a smart decision to see if people are like, oh, well, if they don't like the campaign, but we're going to force them to do the campaign to get to this other thing. This could be really well, or it could be a fucking shitstorm. Because if no one plays the campaign, or very few people play the campaign, this game mode at the end, it could be really awesome. But at the same time, no one's going to play it because they have to get through the campaign. Ron says, please bring Nicki Minaj to Black Ops 7. I'm glad I missed the Valve hardware section of the stream. Yeah, it's the last thing. Let's bring it up here. Right, we're going to watch their 6-minute video. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am not the super techiest person, so I will not try to tell you from a tech perspective if this is good or bad, right? We're going to watch their advertisement here. I watched the video yesterday that Eclipse sent in our Discord as far as what the power of the stuff is and where it lies. We don't know the price, but I'll give you my thoughts and stuff on this. All right, so if you guys like what you do, all the links are in the description down below. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Actually, before I get to this, hold on a second. I found this yesterday, and I was going to make a big joke. I completely ruined it, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Because I was going to talk about the Steam Deck, right? And then tell you that this is the system that everyone's been waiting for, which is this. The analog dot. Okay, the future is here. Okay, it's out of stock. It's the N64. Introducing the analog 3D. The future is here. Okay, the reimagining of the N64 in 4K resolution, 10 times the resolution of the original N64. The first and perhaps the greatest multiplayer system of all time, the analog 3D, is 100% compatible with every original N64 game ever made. Region-free, Bluetooth, LT, dual-band Wi-Fi, 4 original style controller ports, entirely new generation of analog hardware featuring 3DS, engineered entirely of the FPGA, and no emulation. Okay, there it is. You could take your old cartridges and play in 4K. Okay, they got 4 pictures here. And you can get in white. You can get in gray. I guess it's gray. Is it? Yeah, it's like an eggshell or whatever the hell it is. 100% compatible for the first time ever. Okay. It says analog 3D represents a milestone in video game preservation. It's not only the world's first reimagining of the N64, but the world's first 100% compatible reaction of the N64 analog spent nearly 4 years engineering. No more incapabilities of found software emulation like input lag, graphic, audio accuracy, timing, frame rate issues, or more. For the first time, you can re-experience the N64 exactly as it meant to be played without compromise. Okay. The unmistakable signature soul of the CRT on the HD TV in 4K. Okay. The gold standard of multiplayer. N64, perhaps the greatest multiplayer gaming system of all time. Around 70% of the game library supports multiplayer. It's just the option Experience of multiplayer, also a bridge to connect us to a simple way. In-person multiplayer creates an experience that they aren't just better together. It creates an experience that are only possible together with analog 3D. An arrival of very insensitive multiplayer brought back to life with the soul of N64 at its core. So basically, they're trying to get people to play it again in their house with the 4. Nintendo was awesome back in the day, where you could hook up all the controllers and have all your friends over. I thought this was funny. So there you go. Introducing the 3D OS. Okay, you can pick all your games and whatnot. We're preserving video game history with FPGA hardware. There's a specifications. Original N64 game cartridges, original controllers and accessories, original style N64 cartridge slot, region free, 4K HDMI output, NTS PAL support, lag free, zero signature, degrading, original display modes, 8-bit Duo 64 controller for $40, sold separately. Built-in expansion pack, memory pack, 3D OS, dual bandwidth, Bluetooth Classic LE, 4-player support, wireless wired, original style controller ports, so you can plug in your original controllers. And there you go. Ships November 18th for $250. It's not a bad deal, I guess, if you're looking for a system like that. I just thought it was funny. I saw this, I was like, oh, I'll talk about the Steam Deck and then show this instead. No, but we're going to show the Steam Deck. Robert Jones says, I'm waiting for the Soldier Boy versions. He's gonna buy 1,000 of them, and put a sticker on it, and say Soldier Boy 3D OS. Aku says, I've been trying to get one of those. I posted this in Discord like a year ago. Well, here it is today. I don't have to tell you. So there, looking at the total install size for a computer Game Pass version of Black Ops is total 266.73 gigabytes. Get the hell out of here. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Not installing Warzone, that's 78 gigs. Okay, well, still, 78 gigs just gets you just below 200 gigs. World says Soldier Boy is going to sue this company for stealing his idea. Oh man, you know it's going to happen. You know he's going to get some. Soldier Boy 64. Yeah, so basically the way it sounds, Jones, is that when you put the game in, you're not going to just sit in front of a standard screen anymore. It'll fill the whole screen. It'll be 4K. It'll look like modern gaming, but with your old games. All right. Let's watch this Steam presentation from yesterday.
Hey everyone, this is Steam Deck.
Okay.
Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, hand.
I didn't watch this, by the way. You guys started talking about this yesterday. We were already off air when actually we were on air playing Arc Raiders when it came out. So I didn't look at a lot of stuff. I did watch that video that Eclipse sent me about the tech specs and stuff.
Handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere. We're pretty proud of it. People who own Steam Decks have been playing everywhere, and we couldn't be happier with the response we've heard from all of you. We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future.
So Steam Deck 2 is coming out, basically.
Of Steam hardware. Today, we're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with powerful PC gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam, and all are shipping in early 2026. Let's start with this one. This is the new Steam.
That's a clunky boy. That's a clunky boy. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's about as... Because I have a little attachment piece to my mic controller down here for the mic input. So it does seem like a little bit thicker than this. But that's a big boy. It's a big controller.
Steam controller. The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips so you can play wherever and however you want. Just like with Steam Deck, we want you to be able to play any game with your Steam controller, even games never built with a controller in mind.
I'll be honest, this is a big selling point for me because I can get... My son always wants to play games with me on the PC. And again, it all depends on what the price point of this thing is. We don't know what the price point is. But if we could play games, and I could be on my PC and I have this in the living room or whatever, and he can play Steam as well. He has a laptop and stuff like that, but it's not a very powerful laptop for gaming. It's more for school. It would be interesting, especially if the price is right.
It has all the great features from Steam Deck, like trackpads, gyro, and back buttons, all in a comfortable form factor. Its next-generation magnetic thumbsticks let you play with improved responsiveness and longevity. We've put capacitive touch sensors on the thumbsticks and now on the back of the controller too, so you can enable precision gyro aiming with the touch of your thumb, or your pinky if you're feeling fancy. Play for way too long with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that allows for over 35 hours of playtime.
I'll believe it when I see it. 35 hours of playtime.
With Steam Controller, we want to make charging and wireless pairing something that's actually easy. That's why we created the Puck. The Puck is a combination wireless adapter and magnetic charger included with every Steam controller. Snap it on to charge. Once you're charged up, snap it off again.
You have to fasten that down, I would assume, right? You'd stick it to the table.
You can play over Bluetooth or a wired connection too. The new Steam controller works with any device running Steam or Steam Link, whether it's a PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam machine.
Water Bear says 35 hours of playtime when you're just sitting on the title screen, 5 hours when you actually play.
Oh, this is the new Steam machine.
It's half an Xbox.
Steam Machine.
It's the GameCube. Yeah, the GameCube
is a powerful gaming PC in a small but mighty package, designed for your games on the big screen. It's quiet too, which is crazy since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck. Powered by a discrete, semi-custom AMD GPU, enabling 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with FSR. Steam Machine runs SteamOS made for a bigger screen, built for gaming in your living room, your office, or wherever you play, with the rest of your PC accessories. Steam Machine borrows some great features from Steam Deck, like lightning-fast sleep and wake, an SD card slot to easily expand your storage, and brings some new tricks of its own, like a customizable LED strip.
Here's my question, right? I said this to Sarge last night. My only concern, again, console brain here, right? Console brain. With a PC, you buy a PC, you're paying $1,200, $1,800, $2,000, $4,000, whatever it is, right? You have all of these way more high-end stuff. Obviously, you get 120, 240 frames per second, whatever, if you have a really good system. This system is going to last a while, so when new games come out, right? When new games come out, the minimum specs keep rising, right? That's why some people can't play certain games. They're like, oh, my graphics card doesn't run it, blah, 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 right? Again, console brain here. I buy this, okay? 3 years from now, a new game comes out on PC, which is on Steam, right? Is it going to be able to run on this system? Because this is locked into what it is, right? It is what it is. So, I don't know. Again, console brain. Because technology is going so fast and the games are going up and eating more power, right? Hey, can you run it? That's exactly right, Water. Can you run it if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out? Obviously, it's going to run if it's a higher than the Xbox Series S, but lower than the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So it's somewhere in the middle. It'll run it, but it's like, okay, now the next thing comes out. Is it going to be able to run it? That is my problem. I bet you might be able to upgrade your hardware. Do they say that? It says you a memory storage upgrade, but can you upgrade the graphics card? I don't think so.
Which can show different system functionalities, or your own light show. Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want. And
that's why it's got a lot of CPU intensity, but the graphics intensity is not good, right?
Works with all your favorite desktop and gaming accessories. Steam Machine is designed to work hand in hand with the Steam controller, with the low latency, wireless connectivity of the Steam controller puck built right in. And it's great for streaming your games to your phone, tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, or Steam Frame. Oh, yep, this is Steam Frame.
Altair says, oh, this is not running GTA 6. 100% it is. It might not run the way you want it to run, but it's definitely going to be running the GTA 6.
Steam Frame is Valve's next generation VR hardware. Stream all your Steam games, VR and non-VR alike, in this comfortable, lightweight, wireless VR headset. Steam Frame uses camera-based tracking, so getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up. Steam Frame controllers, included with the headset, are designed with all the inputs you need for your VR titles, like motion controls and capacitive tracking for all your fingers, as well as a split gamepad layout to work with your whole Steam library. They even feature the same magnetic thumbsticks as Steam Controller for responsiveness and longevity. Steam Frame also pairs seamlessly with the new Steam Controller, a great companion for playing non-VR games in the headset.
I'll be honest, I play a lot of games like this when I'm traveling. Like I'll be traveling for Thanksgiving and traveling for like Christmas. I bring my headset with me, which is a MetaQuest 2, and this is exactly how I play most of my games when I'm gone. All right, I put the headset on, I stream my Xbox. I don't bring my Xbox. I stream it, and I play the games through the cloud. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, through the headset. 2 Christmases. This will be my 3rd Christmas.
To make sure streaming is smooth and stable no matter what, Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter that lets you stream your games from your PC to your headset over a fast and dedicated Wi-Fi 6 connection. And the game is streamed to your frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking. And Steam Frame is a PC, running Steam OS. In addition to streaming, you can install and play a bunch of VR and non-VR games right in the headset without a host PC. You can also expand your onboard storage to fit even more games with a microSD card. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame. All built with the same DNA as Steam Deck. All powered by Steam, work together, and can be used however you'd like with whatever peripherals and accessories you.
Oh, that's true, Water. Maybe. Stream it just like you do with Xbox and on your phone and your PlayStation off your phone and stuff like that, with the portal and with your mobile phone and with the headset.
Choose. Everything you see here is the culmination of what we've learned from our previous hardware experience and what we've wanted ourselves as gamers. Powerful PC gaming in an open ecosystem, giving you more ways to enjoy the games you love and discover new ones. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame are all shipping in early 2026. Learn more at steampowered.com.
Probably comes out like what, March or April?
.com/hardware.
The products look good. Obviously, combined total, I think this thing costs, with the headset, with the box, with the controller, under $1,000. You think? If you do VR headset, the box, and the controller, $999. Just the box, $600, $500. Right? Yeah, I think you'll 100% be able to bundle. $1,200 for everything. Just the box, probably $600. I think they'd have to go lower than that, Argus, for the box. Here's my thought mentality on this. Okay, I think it looks fantastic, right? Let me make this on loop, and this will play in the background as we talk. Okay. So we'll have this play in the background. Why +1 for 1,200 for everything? Yeah, why is Steam getting this market? Right? I said this a little bit last night. I know a lot of you didn't watch the episode last night when we were playing. We just bullshit while we play video games. We were playing Star Wars. Here's where I think, this is where my mentality goes. When I saw this yesterday, when Altern posted it while we were playing, right, the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, remember I always talked about how Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox were all on the same island, okay? Back in 2017, Nintendo was like, we're going off on our own island. We're getting rid of our mobile market, and we're combining it with our console. And they kind of went on their own island, right? And then Sony and Xbox were on their island together. Nintendo's still in the same water, but they're on their own island, okay? Now Microsoft is off on their own island, okay? They decided to leave the island of the console warrior, and they're like, we want to be on the cloud. We want to be on this, and I don't have to go into the whole thing. I predicted this a long time ago what Microsoft was going to do, okay? Now all of a sudden Steam says, well, if Microsoft comes over here, Steam's on this island. They're on their own big island. Microsoft's like, hey, we're going to join you over on this island. So then Steam's like, all right, great. Because you're joining us on this island, we need to bring more people, and people are not coming over to Steam. Okay? Console guys, right? If you're a fanboy of one or the other, if you're a Nintendo fanboy, Sony fanboy, or Xbox fanboy, and when I'm talking about fanboy, I'm talking about the fanboys that don't like PC, okay? Because they don't want anything unless it's super simple for them to be in the living room and play the thing. Microsoft is getting into the cloud gaming. They're going into the PC space. They don't really care about the hardware. You can get the hardware if you want, or you can play their games on PC, or you can play their games on the other consoles. They don't care. They'll take the $70. They'll take the $30. They don't give a shit. So now Xbox has left this island and gone over to this island, but they still have their toe over here. They're still making money over in this space. Not a whole lot of money with the console space, but they're still making the space. They're making money off the software, not the hardware. So now they join Steam. And Steam is now the top king of the PC space. That's just what it is. But now Microsoft's coming in, and they went from third place over here to second place over here. But they want this market. They want that 3.2, 3.8 billion people, okay, that have gaming PCs around the world. And they wanted that market. And Steam's like, people don't really, like my kid's 11. He doesn't have a Steam account, right? He doesn't have a Steam account. He plays consoles. Well, now if I get this console, he now gets a Steam account. He now gets a Steam experience without buying a $2,000 PC, if the price is right. We don't know what the price is. So in my opinion, this thing needs to be around $500. They undercut the other guys. It's not as powerful as the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's not as powerful as the Xbox Series X. Okay. Probably won't be as, obviously it's going to be lower than the PlayStation 6 and whatever the Xbox Magnus, whatever the hell they're calling it for the next one. Okay. So this one's just in the middle. And it's like, all right, well, we're just putting our toe in there. Now the people that play this in their living rooms, the people that have PCs, the people like me, Water, Aku, anybody that has multiple things, you have consoles, you have PCs. Now you're like, I don't really like sitting in front of my computer all the time. Maybe I'll buy this for the living room. Maybe you have kids. Maybe you want them to play games now on that, different games that you can't play on the consoles. Another bonus for this is if you already have a Steam account, like Quintar has for 20 years, all of your stuff is on this box. I don't know if all of it, but a shit ton of stuff is on this box day one. Then you don't have to put anything else out of pocket for games. All your games that are over here now are on this thing, but now it's convenient in your living room, okay, or next to you, and it's just simple to play, right? We were talking about this with Netflix, and we're talking about this with streaming services. It's all about the convenience of what it is. And Steam, as simple as it is for us, we always joke, Steam's here, Epic Launcher's here, right? People don't want to even go down just a little bit to press on the next launcher. They want to stick with Steam. Loyalty, brand loyalty, whatever you want to call it. But now you put this in your living room, makes it super easy, makes it simple, right? So it's very interesting what they're trying to do here. They're not trying to take over the market. They're just putting it in. Obviously, I don't think this is going to go in massive big box stores, right? The Steam Deck's in Best Buy and stuff like that, but most of the time they're selling most of their stuff just off their website, right? Steam's very smart what they're doing. I don't think this sells like 30, 40 million units. I think this sells about around what the Steam Deck is, which last time we looked was around 8 million, right? So I said it says about 4 to 8 million, maybe 10 million, which would be huge, right? Again, just off of Steam itself. I don't think it's going to sell, what PlayStation's selling or what Nintendo's selling. But I'll be honest, if this comes out at a good price, I'm in the ballpark right now of buying a new PC because I can't stream and play my games on PC. It struggles, right? I'm not a big guy with care about 30, 60, 120 frames, whatever. If I can get this and hook this up and play my Steam games and then use my PC as a streaming PC, that's a big win for me. And I don't have to pay for another $1,800, $1,500, $1,800 computer type of stuff. Be interesting. Now, also, I want to have a conversation. Do you think Grand Theft Auto, I know one of you guys said it's not going to come. Do you think Grand Theft Auto comes day and date on PC now? Right? We're talking this time next year. Do we think Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out and it's day and date on all platforms now? I think this solidifies it. You guys say no. Altar says no. Ashraf says no. Right? I think this box solidifies Grand Theft Auto coming to PC day and date. Ashraf says, could that explain the delay? Perhaps. I don't want to say yes, but I don't know, man. Ron says, I hope GTA gets canceled. Needed to run on Steam Machine. GTA 6 needs to run on Steam Machine. But it would, because it's running on the S. It's more powerful than the S, right? GTA 6 is coming out on the S and the X. So it would run on this. Too much in-house fighting. For Rockstar? Oh, you're talking about because of their people are taking them to court now because of the all that stuff. Is that what you're talking about, Altair? It would be good for me to play PC games and stream on my piece of shit streaming PC. That's what I'm saying, Luke, right? If I could get this for $500, again, we don't know the price. But if I get this for $500 and still play my PC games while I'm streaming off this, personally, that's a win for me. Kyle says, I'm pretty interested in getting one. Depends on the price. 100%. We don't know what the price is. I think it has to be lower than 600. It's got to be lower than 600. I want to say lower than 500. You come in at $499. $499 for just the box. With the controller, right? Maybe it's 600. And then with the headset, the thing, it's $1,999. $999. Agreed. The delay is for a cross-platform launch day. It just seems like it, right, Quintar? Again, just looks like this gut feeling. Now that this is announced, this has to mean that Grand Theft Auto is coming day and date across all platforms. Aku says still a toss-up. Yep, and it will be broken. Yeah. Can it run Mind's Eye is the real question. I think it can. Remember, this is a PC. You get a PC version of the game, and you can also hyper adjust the settings and more playable on the thing than you could on console. One thing I'm concerned about now is that ugly ass controller. I don't think it's that bad. like I said, like mine's pretty bulky because it has that piece at the bottom right here. That's where the track pads are. It just comes across straight across here. You know what I mean? I mean, you could probably use another controller, but I did see the tech stuff. They have a dedicated controller. They use 6 on the controller, and they use Wi-Fi 5, whatever. So it's completely separate. So everything that attaches to that system is completely separate to that system. What do you have? A 3060? I don't know if that's better than that. Yeah, but Jones, it doesn't matter if it's better than that. What I have right now, I'm running the software, streaming, and my game, right? Even if it's the same as a 3060 or a little lower than the 3060, again, I'm not the tech guy, okay? I can plug it in with the HDMI, and it's not going to take any more strain off of my computer. It makes it much easier for me. Instead of having a dual PC setup, two PC setup, which is very expensive, if this comes in at a lower price, personally, this would be a good choice for me. Tarnish says, yeah, you can customize the settings in a way more ways than you can also do on console. It's not some weak device either. The CPU is much more powerful than the PlayStation 5 and the Series X. Eric says, whoa, mind's eye. Let's not ask for the world here. What's going on, Eric? Usually a year of PC to get to GTA, so I think it kind of hits multiple systems launch. Right, well, we're in different times now, right, Quintar? We assume that it's not coming day and date because that's what happened in the past. Well, we also assumed in the past that we would never lose hard copy games, and we did, right? We assumed that we wouldn't have a handheld Nintendo device. We would always have a console and a handheld device, right? Lots of things change, right? So I think we might be onto something. I think because of this, I think Grand Theft Auto 6 comes day and date now. Rockstar doesn't care. Rockstar, this is more places that they can play, right? They're going to make their $80 billion, regardless if it's separate delay or not. Who knows? See, my thing is Rockstar and GTA 6, they make their money from online. And before, when they were on the 2 systems ago, when it came out on the 360, and then they updated to first person, and then they updated for other things, that is where the industry was going. But now the online makes so much money. I can't imagine them that their whole role-playing role would be gone because PC was the role players. And sure, you could have the role playing on the consoles now, but the whole world that did role playing for Grand Theft Auto Online that blew it up was playing on PC. You're going to delay that another year? I don't know, man. That's a lot of money left on the table. Altern says the controller for Steam Deck without the screen is the opposite of PlayStation Portal. Z says Ghost of Tsushima in Steam Deck verified now. I think this is going to be a Steam OS Windows killer, baby. You could say killer, or you could say competitor, because it's good to have competition, right? It's good to have competition. Now you have choice. Now Xbox doesn't just have you by the balls. You can be like, you know what? I don't want to play Microsoft. Use the Windows operating system. I can go use Linux and the Steam OS. Right? This is good for customers. This is good for customers having competition. The controller is great. It's made to give you a functionality of the Steam Deck controllers, which also looks the same and split in half. Ron says, so I guess I won't need to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro. Perhaps. Who knows? The rumor is that Steam is trying to make it where also people don't have to put a gamepad support, and the Steam will automatically do that for you. Okay? I only care about the box, really. Don't care about the headset. Take-Two CEO admits that they're also losing out on 40% or more skipping PC. If they aren't at least considering it, then they shouldn't be in the business. So there you go, right? That's a lot of money left on the table. And I totally see both things are valid. You could say, hey, well, they'll double dip and they make more money this way. The landscape has changed. The industry has changed. And what if something else comes along in that year span that's not on PC, that all of a sudden something takes your trade? I know we look at it and go, nothing's bigger than Grand Theft Auto. But what if something is? What if something comes across that all of a sudden takes your attention away from Grand Theft Auto because now Grand Theft Auto is old news, right? And then something else comes across. I don't know, man. I just feel like Rockstar looks at this and says, well, this is a way to get it on console/PC or whatever. There's a lot of role players out there, man. That's a lot of advertisement. That's a lot of eyes on people playing that game when it comes out. So no day and date. Take-Two will milk it. We'll see. We'll have this conversation when it happens. I'm going in the because of this. I'm in the ballpark now. It comes out day and date. 30 system is strained while playing PC streaming. Only 3060 processing the video. Aku, for me to buy a new system or buy this if it comes out at a cheaper price, this would be a better move for me than spending. Like right now, if the price is under, I could buy this now. To save up for a PC down the road, it would take me even longer to save up, right? This all depends on what the price is of this. I'm not going to buy this day one. I would see reviews, see what it does. I'm never going to buy something like this day one. Waterbear says, Rockstar told me to upgrade my PC, and they're doing day and date for PC. There you go. I think the Steam box will be above current gen console system. The PlayStation 6 and the Xbox are old hardware now. I'm sorry, but the PC gamers don't double dip anymore. I think they use it to, but now they rather just wait for the 60 frames per second or good performance. Since the Steam machine is a PC, I like how that you can also practically use whatever gamepad you want, especially if it's easy to use with Steam. Altern says GTA 6 launches on PC. It'll be able to play on Steam machine. They'll also make it compatible with the VR. And that means it'll be compatible on the phone as well. That would be huge. That would be huge because you can play the games, all your games on the headset, but not all VR capable, right? So you're not saying that it would be VR capable. You're just saying that obviously you can play on your headset, sort of like what I do with the MetaQuest and stuff now. Or are you saying that it'll have VR inside? Robert Jones says, why day and date when you can milk it for 3 copies this gen, next gen, and PC update? Because people are not going to do what they did in the past. Look at the difference between the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. Look at the difference between PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Okay? There was a huge gap of what power was in those systems compared to these systems. Huge. That's not happening anymore. There's no huge gaps of leaping in technology. We're at the ceiling as far as graphically intense and stuff like that. Grand Theft Auto is going to come out. It's going to blow the doors and water off of everything that's been in the past. But that's it. That's the ceiling. Okay? So where are you milking it from? What are you going to milk me from if I'm playing on the PlayStation 5 Pro or I'm playing on the Xbox Series X and then I wait a year and then get it on PC? The next Xbox Series 6 or PlayStation 6 or Xbox Maximum, what are they going to do for me? We don't live in that time anymore. I just read Arc on Discord. They raised the bar for donating so everyone can join in because it was filling up too fast. Is that why it went from 13% down to 1%? And everyone's like, we're stopping this right now. So they changed it and raised it by 13%. Tarner says, the only way to truly know is testing it out. Personally, I'm not going to spend $500 for a price of a game when I have a very high-end PC. Plus, that's a downgrade for me. The whole package price was rumored for about $1,200. Memory and tariff played a role for the delay price reveal, it seems like. Okay? I think $1,200 is a little too much for what that is. If it's $1,200, but that's for the whole package you're saying, right? You're saying that for the whole package, so the headset, the game, and the controller for $1,200. I would just get another PC then. Obviously, I'm missing out on the VR headset, but I have one. Right? I just want the console and obviously the controller. So I think hopefully it's under $500. $1,200 I don't think is a bad deal, especially if you're getting the next Xbox and PlayStation are up in the $1,000. That is a good price, I guess. Half-Life 3, 2026. Comes packaged with it. There you go. They never make 3 of anything. Dolphin says, why do we act like we know what Rockstar's release is when they put it out 2 games in 10 years is my question. It's true. Grand Theft Auto can 100% be dethroned if their next game is trash, even not good enough, or other games will also take the spotlight. Expectations are massively high for GTA, meaning less forgiving. And most big streamers prefer playing on PC. That's a lot of exposure left on the table. That's what I'm saying, Tarnish. Like, you got to remember, role-playing in Grand Theft Auto Online didn't exist when they were doing the double-dipping, triple-dipping type of thing. Completely different. We're in a completely different playing field now. $100% it makes sense. I'm so established on the PC market now with also the system. They also probably have a PlayStation 6 replacement. Tetherless goggles are also what's excited because these are not from a face space company. They're Meta, right? Meta now? Is that what it is? VR is trying to bring PC games to the run a native Android device, which also means that VR is doing a PC emulator built in. If they bring in GTA 6 to Steam OS, then they'll make it compatible. Okay? This means that VR can run on Android and will also play the game on it, which means every Android phone will run it. Double dipping is dying. If you don't do it day and date, you're going to lose money. Right? You got to adapt, right? You got to adapt. Because obviously 2020, hindsight's 2020. We look back and go, oh yeah, they double dipped or triple dipped, right? I owned it 3 times. Okay. But we didn't have crossplay back then. We didn't have day and date back then. Right? You know what I mean? We didn't have multi-plat back then. Well, we did, but most people didn't acknowledge multi-plat back then, right? We didn't have the role-playing and stuff that Grand Theft Auto Online has. Just 10 years, man. The whole landscape of gaming has completely changed. Headset plus console plus controller, yes. Okay. A lot of PC players only buying Nintendo systems and waiting for games to hit PC. If you want to play PC games in the room your desktop is set up, isn't that why you would still get this device? Yeah, I mean, honestly, the convenience for me personally as a content creator and streamer when I play games, right? Again, a PC is much more expensive. If this comes out and just a box costs $500 or $600, that's much more viable. That's much more appealing to me personally than buying a brand new system. Steele says VR makes me sick. Yeah, I don't get sick by it. Ark, just a second, drop the hotfix for the loot on the map for when we get the kill on it. Yeah, there was a whole thing where the loot wasn't spawning in for the keys earlier. Robert Jones says, I don't think GTA needs exposure. All the normie gamers are just waiting. Yeah, it's not about the exposure, Jones. It's about the people that role play. Do you understand that GTA role playing since 2016 has been one of the most watched things on the internet? And those are mostly people that are playing on, I would say 96% of the people are playing on PC. to have a 13-year gap of Grand Theft Auto to come out and then not have the online work where people can play the online and do the role-playing stuff, since they're baking it in, by the way, right? Grand Theft Auto is baking in the role-playing in. The people that have PCs don't want to go down a console to play role-playing. They want to use their rigs and stuff. That's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of people. That's a big upgrade. If you bought it for on the PlayStation 3, buy that for the new gen. It was a huge upgrade. Right. That's not happening anymore. I've been told to use the better system. My friend has a top-of-the-line system. While I was playing, I was fine. But after, I was sick as a dog. Oh, yeah. VR headsets are not meant for everyone. My wife can't wear them. She's basically not blind, but she's got really bad eyesight, right? She puts the headset on, she can see it and stuff, but it makes her nauseous real fast. Some people, this is why VR will never take off to the masses. AR will, but VR won't. Right? AR glasses that you put on, you can see the real world and like objects come in, that will take off and people won't get sick of that. But when you're enclosed and you're watching and your body doesn't know the equilibrium and stuff like that, like it gets people sick real fast. The BOM cost is around $425 for Steam machine, calculated by Moore's Law is dead. $425. I mean, they could take a loss on it. They'll make the money back, right? All systems used to take a loss. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to take a loss, but they could take a loss. Most PC users have low-end, mid-range PCs. Those would be a good upgrade for them. Yeah, I keep seeing $399 in my head for that box. Most $450. Yeah, I want to say $499 is the price of that system. Again, I don't know. It's just I look at that and what it does, $499. That's with the controller and the system in my head. Again, I have no bearing based on just in the past. Who knows? It could be fucking $999 just for that. It would be hilarious if GTA 6 hits PC day one, since the main argument used by Sony fans against PC gamers. Let's go on, Slug Racer. It says the Steam Deck is in reality awkward spot with this new hardware. It's a portable gaming handheld. I use it all the time, and it doesn't fit in into my purse and stays hooked up to my TV. So are you saying, Slug, that you do like the new machine, or you don't? You're saying the Steam Deck doesn't fit, but you're using the Steam Deck as your console, right? You're using it as a console. So that means the Steam machine, you would like the Steam machine then, or as the Gabe Cube, as their people are calling it. Can't be worse than the Virtual Boy. That shit was terrible. Terrible. Luke says we need Disney moving floor. Ready Player One here. Oh, the little tiles that they walk on and stuff. Yeah, I mean, you could buy those. They're very expensive. Altered says role-playing is so big that they bought the main program that also hosts them. Of course, Rockstar, no role-playing is big. Valve will take the loss because they know it will also make money. If their stores, also, you got to remember, they usually get 30% of every sale from that, right? But you have to imagine, why is Steam getting into the lower market, the smaller market, right? They're in the bigger market of player base that potentially could play their like Steam games. But why are they getting down to the lower market? Because there's not a lot of young kids playing on Steam. Do you know what I mean? They got to get their eyeballs on the people where they start gaming. Kids start gaming on Nintendo, and then they work their way up through Xbox and PlayStation. And then once they get a job, once they get a little bit of establishment, they buy themselves a PC, they can get a Steam account, right? Obviously, you could be like 12 or 13, I think it is, for Steam. But you just see what I'm saying? Like, they want to bring it so it's more convenient, so the younger generation starts to go, oh, yeah, Steam's got a box. We can play there. I can play my games. I think that's why they're doing it. Luke says $599 for the cube and the controller. Perhaps. I'm going to stick with $499. Robert Jones says $3.99. I might buy some as gifts. World says, buddy of mine was saying that everyone should buy AMD stock before this launches. He's got high hopes for it. Eyesight provides 90% of the information of your brain for balance and others and items. Losing the leads of disoriented for people who rely on. It's the pass-through too, though. Do we know if this headset has a pass-through so you can see what you're seeing? You know, like the MetaQuest does, where you just like tap the side and you can see, and then you tap it again. And I'm assuming it does, right? I haven't seen information on it though. I like the new stuff. Blacklight console and a 5-inch screen handheld that's also actually portable. The Steam Deck is even too big to bring into bed. I don't own one myself. I went to Best Buy and held it, and I just can't because they have that like display case where you like hold it, and it's being held up by a rod, right? And I'm like holding it in my hand, and now I picture that in my mind. I'm like, where would I play this if I'm sitting on the couch, right? Because I do this with my phone now. And my phone's super lightweight, but when you look at your phone, your head's down like this because you just get in this like natural state. So like you're like this, right? And then you play that for a couple of hours, and my neck would just be killed. And then if you're laying in bed, that's a chunky boy. That's a chunky boy. That's why one of the reasons I haven't picked it up. I was like, where would I use it? I don't travel a lot. I want to get one, but I don't want to get one. I think this machine is better suited for me. But again, the price point is a big if. Sweat Dog says, "Hi, I'm new. Are you?" $3.99 for 258 gigabytes and $4.99 for the 2 terabyte. Yeah, you buy the smaller one, and then get your own memory sticks to put in. It cannot be priced like a console, which by themselves said, because you can buy a PC and it would not be viable. I could see the price at $500 and the lowest by idea $600. Maybe what Luke said, right? It's $500, $499 for the box, and then with the controller, maybe it's $599, $550, $549. Black and white pass through. I'll have to wait for version 2 then. That's the one thing I don't like about the MetaQuest 2 is the black and white. It's cool, but the MetaQuest 3, which I saw, they're actually running a special. If you guys don't know this, if those of you that are looking to get a PlayStation Portal at Costco, I think it's at BJ's as well. Costco is running a special for $250. You get a case. You get the Portal, and you get something else. I forget what it is. It's like 3 things in the case for $250. So if you're looking to get a PlayStation Portal handheld thing, that's at Costco right now for $250. Okay. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, and MetaQuest. MetaQuest is $250 or $300, $299, something like that for the bigger bundle version. So if you're looking to get a VR headset, or if you're looking to get the Portal, they have sales going on or discounts going on at Costco. Azure says, I think the 2 terabyte variation would be $599 to $649. I just think that's, I don't know. I just think consoles, they would sell a shit ton if they keep the price lower. Remember, I know we live in a world now that people think that the consoles they have to be super expensive. They used to sell, why do you think the PlayStation is the best selling console of all time? Right? Because it was super cheap. They lost their asses on it, but they sold so many more software because of it. So I'm not saying that they're not going to give a high price. I just think that Steam makes a shit ton of money. If they undercut everybody else that's in the market for the handheld, or I'm sorry, for the console portion, they can make a lot of headway with people because they would push, the market would have to come down, right? Sony and Xbox and Nintendo don't want to lose money on the consoles anymore. Steam, I think, can lose money on the consoles, and they would make their money back way faster than the other guys would. And what I mean by that is because the people already have a Steam library. The Steam library of the people that buy the machine that already have Steam or buying it, they're basically making their money back because they know they're going to keep buying the games and coming, right? They make so much money and they don't have super overhead with all the employees and stuff that other companies have. Sweat Dog says, I think the price is a deal breaker for me. I have a console and a PC. It's pointless getting. I feel it's for people who only have a console and would like to play PC games without dropping lots of money on PC. Perhaps, yeah. It's that, and that's why I'm saying if they keep it at a lower price, you're getting people that own consoles that don't own a PC that come in because it looks like it's disguised. It's a Trojan horse, basically, right? They're like, oh, it's like a console. It's much easier, convenient for them to operate and understand what it is. Eclipse says, remember, Valve is private, so they don't answer to no one but themselves. That's correct. I think a charging station bundle. I don't buy the Portal. Get a Meta Quest. You'll thank me later. I did it 30. I figured out the price for Steam Cube. It's 99 Lulf balloons. For every Steam box sold, they're buying games on Steam. The Steam is getting 30%. I already have a big screen that's 4K HDR, mini LED, so watching or playing on the Quest looks like shit doing that. Looks like shit. Valve doesn't cut price on SSD storages. The Steam Deck was intentionally priced as this following: 64 gigs at $420, 256 at $540, and 512 for $649. But the Steam Deck is a portable device. You're charging for the convenience of the portable device. Hence why Nintendo can charge $500 for the Switch 2. You know what I mean? You're charging for convenience. And again, they don't want to lose money on it. But, it is what it is. All right, I think that was the only three stories that we had today. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. I did see Dolphin. He says, get a job, my dad, in 2025 for a member of 27 months. Where was that? Let me put it on the screen. Where is it? There it is. Thank you very much for the membership for 27 months. Appreciate you, Dolphin. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Wait, you're on Twitch also? I am. I've been dual streaming for about 2 weeks now. We started back in March, but then it got off and then went back on and got off and got back on. So we've been doing it for about 2 weeks now. We're over on Twitch and YouTube, but this is the main channel. YouTube is the main channel. Let's see here. I could throw my Switch 1 in the wife's purse. Ain't happening with the Steam Deck. Yeah, no, you got to take a backpack. You got to take a backpack with that thing. Eclipse says, man, I forgot about this. All about this. I'm pretty sure I paid for this like 2 weeks ago. Thank you very much for the gaming squad of 25 months over the 2 years. Thank you very much for the follow over on Twitch. I think that was the Twitch one, right? The Twitch one. All right. We're going to be live playing some Arc Raiders in about 45 minutes or so over on our other channel, 30 and Still Gaming. If you guys like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. This evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel, 30 NSG, also on Twitch, 30 and Still Gaming. We do a podcast called Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week. I do a podcast with my brother. We've been doing it for over a decade. We just have conversations. We talk about news stories. It's a good time. Come on out tonight. You can also watch the past broadcasts. We have 464 episodes up on Spotify. So if you guys like podcasts, you guys like to come out and just hang out for a bit, 8 p.m. this evening, right here on the same channel you're watching right now, 30 NSG. You can also support us if you like the music. I wrote all the music. Music's created by AI for the sounds, but I've created all the dialogue, or I'm sorry, the actual writing, the lyrics. If you guys like that, you can go download those. You can go stream those over on all platforms. Spotify is the main platform, though. It helps us out here as well. I appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are. I'll see you over on 30 and Still Gaming in about 45 minutes. If not, I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Generation X Gaming Podcast. You guys have a good one. See you on the next one. Peace.
You smile wide in the keynote light. Talk about passion, art, and pride. We believe in people in every voice. Right before they cut the staff, no choice. Your favorite game just hit record profit, stocks in the sky. Then the devs get pink slips through the door. Tell me, what the hell are we cheering for? Nothing means anything anymore. Truth's just branding dressed in metaphor. Billions that ask for more while burning down the hands that built the core. Nothing means anything anymore. They sell you dreams with a world premiere, but every trailer hides the fear. Crunch time silence, sleepless nights, so suits can shine in neon lights. They say we're like family, we care, we grow. Then toss you out for the quarterly show. And when you speak, they'll spin it again. Your feedback matters, just not to them. Nothing means anything anymore. Lies and layers on a showroom floor. They'll break the soul just to please a board, then clap their hands like they deserve awards. Nothing means anything anymore. We're not bitter, we're just awake. Tired of giving more than they take. If this is progress, then count me out. 'Cause all they build now is built on doubt. We value transparency. We're committed to diversity. We're excited for the future. Then lay off half the damn studio. What a joke.